Hello, YouTube. It's me. I hate intros without music. Thank you. Much better. Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. I think the last day for this case recipe for Turnabout? Sorry, yeah, I really don't want to miss this stupid learn all the French words achievement, so I need to look out for that when I cross-examine Gene Armstrong. Press every statement before presenting contradictions to progress the story. Well, there you go. Just press everything. And hopefully, it all goes well. Happy Easter, by the way, anyone who's in the chat currently, and YouTube if you're watching. I hope you had a pleasant Easter, or Trans Visibility Day, depending on how you want to celebrate. Your business. Ahem. Now then. Also, hey, Arg, what's up?
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning, Maggie.
So, what do you think's gonna happen today, sir?
I think someone's gonna finally give you a fucking, clean shirt and pants for you to change into. You've literally been in prison for a month, forced to wear a waitress's uniform.
Yesterday's session did not go so well and ended on a giant mystery.
Yeah, well, better than the last time this happened, right?
That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. And who is that masked man?
Are you okay, Nick?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eye.
No, that wasn't doubt. That was determination.
Why don't I believe you?
Because you're a naturally skeptical person, you untrusting bitch.
It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going to defendant's seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you.
What was Maggie's first appearance? I guess it was the second game, yeah? Hey, pal. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. And then she was in this one, Edgeworth. And I don't think she's been seen since Edgeworth 1, which is kind of disappointing.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that.
How did you know she was stressed?
I was watching through the doorway.
Aw, Gumshoe. Aw.
You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal?
We still dealing with case 3? Yeah, but it's the last day of it, so... I think it's the last day. I'm on part 4-1, which, Okay, yeah, there's 4-1 and then 4-2, so this will definitely be the last day for this case. Sorry, I pulled on my my headphone cable. I gotta get wireless, boys. I also need to start looking at getting a better computer. This one's getting old.
Here, maybe this'll help.
Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too?
Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me you don't remember this thing.
Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. Yeah, we gave it to him to analyze, remember?
It's just a small bottle that turned up in Twabian Kitchen a couple days ago.
You're close to the end of disc 2. That's a 4-disc game, I'm fairly certain, so, good on you. I'm gonna assume you're a little more than halfway then. Or a little less than halfway, whatever. Flashback. That one might actually have mattered because it's been actually a few days since we looked at that, but they found a bottle different from all of Gene Armstrong's bathwater, so.
We finally got the analysis back from the lab.
So, what is it?
Is it the poison?
I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication. Oh, it's the ear medication.
Medication?
Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently.
For ears? You mean...
Yep, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum.
What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen?
Picked it up and put it there, I guess. I don't know. Found covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen. Unidentified? Well, what the fuck? Don't give me that shit. Go figure out whose they are. What about the identified fingerprints? Anything on that?
Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but...
God damn it! That's gonna weaken its impact as a piece of evidence.
Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today. Got it?
Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done, or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. It was a bold plan, pretending to be us. And, like, assuming we would never find out about it and get a retrial. RNG helped. There's a break called Slot, which will give you a random spell to cast, and by luck, you got 2 Ultima spells. That can be manipulated. I don't know the exact thing. It's like frame-perfect inputs, but you can manipulate the slots thing. Including to get one called, like, The End, which just instantly kills things. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. Defense is ready, Your Honor. He's got his coffee, ready and waiting, as always, Your Honor. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder in the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows the victim drank with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Godard. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet, the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. Kudo is weird? Yeah. Honestly, not gonna be sorry to see Kudo gone. That guy was so annoying. Hate that guy. Huh. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Ah, allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godard. It's much too early for this. Shut up and drink your coffee. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying you've resolved the contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seeds in here. He was throwing us off the scent. He has an addiction? Oh, yeah. He is addicted to caffeine. And today, I'll prove it. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand. He's so happy to be here. And you are?
Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and head chef of the Turbine Restaurant Enchanté.
His butt sticking out. Hell yeah. Get it, Queen. Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? God damn it.
Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am the pert and perky gentleman, no?
Oh, you newfangled kids. On the day of the incident, you were in the Trebian kitchen. Isn't that right?
With you, monsieur.
What?
Everything feels right.
Ha! Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? I don't know, he seemed a little fazed by that. What a pose, hell yeah. Our RGG announcement tomorrow? Yeah, on April Fool's Day. I'm sure it'll be 100% serious and not at all ridiculous. Again, the last time they did it, they're like, we're doing a turn-based RPG, and everyone said, please do that. And they were like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. Very well, witness your testimony, please. Tell the court what happened that day at Trebian.
We volunteers.
Dead Souls port. I want Kiwami 3. Dead Souls port would be amazing, but I want Kiwami 3. I'd be infuriated, though, because I bought it on the PS3. If they get a Dead Souls port, I'm still playing the PS3 version, just to be that guy.
When it all happened, there were only 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decos that day.
Like having a large... Oh, for fuck's sakes. A large mirror!
Like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. Look up the earpiece and the glasses. He would have seen everything in reverse, no?
Are you implying that Victor Kudo somehow missed a giant fucking mirror in the middle of the restaurant, and that the waitress serving him he didn't realize, oh, there she is, and also there's a reflection of her. Like, really? This is what we're implying? We doing anything for April Fools? Well, you'll have to tune in to find out. Mirror!
Oui, un grand mirror. Le most enormous mirror.
Everyone in the crowd's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And suddenly the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup in the earpiece. There's only one problem with it that I see, and that it's stupid. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, and there's no way that's what happened. No Ace Attorney tomorrow? Oh, definitely Ace Attorney tomorrow, but you'll have to tune in to see. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Get some coffee, Phoenix. I know a guy who has plenty. Get you the hookup. Now then, Mr. Wright, you begin your cross-examination.
Mr. Armstrong, are you a fucking idiot?
And who were the two customers, exactly?
May, of course, the young man who died. And the other not-so-young man.
You are referring to yesterday's witness, I presume. What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table?
Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. We need some hard evidence before we can bring him up, don't we?
I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. Unbanned Nathan? Nathan, you're unbanned. We're talking about this here. I remember mentioning something about a mirror, but couldn't remember the exact details. I didn't remember a mirror at all. I played this years ago. I'd completely forgotten about this mirror testimony. Is the last trial, or is there more of the case to be had after? Oh, you mean case 3? This is the... We're done with case 3 after this day in court. We then move on to case 4, and this is the... one of the only games that has, at least for a while, a case 5. And this was back on the Game Boy Advance and everything. Remember I was experimenting with some new Art Deco that day. You were experimenting with Art Deco? How come I never heard about that before today?
You are not familiar with the language of interior design, monsieur?
Please stay on topic. Now, why didn't you tell the court about this before?
But I did, just a few moments ago.
Shut up! Ahem. Excuse me, Mr. Armstrong. This deco you mentioned, are you referring to some sort of doctor... What? Decoction. What? Decoction? Decoture? I have no idea what word that is. What the fuck word is that? Did someone say art? More like fart. Decoture. What the fuck is this word? A decoction. Okay, well that doesn't help exactly. Is a deduction like a concoction? First of all, let me hear the pronunciation. Anytime you're ready there, just say the word. Decoction. Okay, and now I have to look up what a fucking decoction is. The act or process of boiling anything in a watery fluid to extract its virtues. What the fuck? An extract got from a body by boiling in water. What? Judge, what the fuck are you talking about? That's got to be like a steam bath sort of thing. That's all I can picture this is. What the hell? No! Art Deco. It's a style of design, Your Honor. He's talking about interior design. Walls, ceilings, carpet, that kind of thing. Ah, yes, of course. That Deco.
I was trying to achieve a more le feminine look for my restaurant.
Turned into fucking, look at me there. Restaurant!
I was planning the most bolder modeling of le decor.
Art Deco is popular interior design. Oh yeah, the Art Deco is... Everyone knows Art Deco. Definition I found is a concentrated liquid resulting from heating or boiling substance, especially medicine, in preparation made from a plant. Oh, okay. Well, that's Oh, so it's a bit like a decanter, I suppose. Or you would place it into a decanter. I wonder if they're related in origin. You put a decoction in a decanter.
I was planning the most about remodeling of the decor.
Having a large mirror between the tables. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. How big of a mirror are we talking about here?
Buff. Something about
4 meters wide and 2 meters high. What the fuck? For those of you who don't understand meters, that's about 6 feet by 12 feet. That is a huge fucking mirror.
Let's see if 1 meter is about a yard. Holy glasses in a frame. Holy glass in a frame. That's huge.
Yeah, it was a big fucking mirror.
I was intending to install it in the ceiling eventually.
Okay, well, ceiling mirrors are a thing. The ceiling? Was there a ceiling? Mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember.
No, but I decided not to go through with it in the end.
What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? You absolutely ask him. Like, this is so... What a fucking insane thing to claim. If you really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimony.
But...
Where did it go? Yeah, where did it go? How did it get through the door? Are you really suggesting people are stupid enough to not notice a huge fucking mirror in the middle of the room? You didn't ask, Trite. You only have yourself to blame for such sloppy work. I didn't ask! I also didn't ask if fucking Godzilla showed up and ate Glenn Elg and spit him back out. What the fuck do you mean I didn't ask? We're gonna be here all day if we have to cover things I didn't ask at the crime scene. What? A mirror was delivered to Trabian the day before the incident. Oh, well. That puts a little more credibility to that.
Really?
As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turns out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end.
This just doesn't add up because it's so stupid. Even if the mirror was delivered to Trabian, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime.
Ha! If you want to doubt someone, Trite, look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough.
So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror.
Many people associate as Art Deco building design, not a blend of other stuff, but also a blend of other stuff like cars. True. Art Deco is just a style. It is definitely commonly used with buildings and interior design, but it can be anything. Normally, I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object.
Objection!
Normally. How does normality come into this? It's a point-and-click adventure game from the 90s voiced by Corey Feldman. What's your point? Fucking got him! It's true, look it up. That's lame, Trite, even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here. I'm so ungodly cool, I need to tell everyone that I'm ungodly cool. That's what ungodly cool people do. Point out how ungodly cool they are. Well, Trite?
Ack! Not the hair! I do not have a top-knot...
you kinda do.
Mr. Godot is correct, even if he is a pompous little douche for pointing out that he is ungodly cool. For that is something only pompous little douches feel the need to point out. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument.
Bien, logic is one day. Even 4 by 2 meters is like 13 feet by 6.5. Yeah, it's a really big mirror. Yeah, I said like 6 by 12. It's a rough estimate, but yeah. So supposedly if I press this should be the achievement, if I've done it right. Otherwise, I need to replay this case again, but I have backup saves, so that's fine. Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse.
Hey, Nick, we should take a second look at the old seed he has said in his testimony.
Oh, maybe I have to present first. Hold on. Oh, there are 4 cross-examinations during the trial. Oh, I need to... Oh, okay. I need to cross-examine each one of his statements. I see, okay.
How did he phrase it again?
Flashback! No question, lock me up. It was his left ear. And use the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. Okay, but it actually is on the left side of his face, right? If you saw everything he described in a reflection mirror, everything he said would be on the left is actually on the right. Yeah, and like... That's actually on the left side of his head, so... Yeah, over left eye. It's kind of hard to believe everything is the fault of a made-up bullshit mirror. Yeah, okay, I get it. Jesus. Hammering it home. Large mirror. Perhaps that was what the old man was looking at. Earpiece glasses. I assume I present Glenn, right? Because it's on his... He said he saw it on the left, and it is actually on his left. Obviously, Lisa Basil's gonna come up soon. That's why she's here. But, I mean, I guess we did meet her, so she needs to be here. Probably could have cut one or two of these characters, honestly, and nothing would have been lost. Like, do we really need to know this guy? Yep. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? I'll do this since it wasn't today that we saw it.
The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side for green lines of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was in his left ear, without a doubt.
So, to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw that as reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactement, you see, monsieur, now that you think about it, it is not so hard, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it the HDMI is now on the wrong side of his head? Fucking the butt out. I love it. Order, order! Mr. Wright is correct. Got more ideas for the new All-Star Racing game? That they aren't making? Yeah, go for it, sure. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect to see the victim's eyepiece be over his right eye. Objection. How bitter. Trite. You should have a taste of the bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. I actually wouldn't mind a coffee. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. Oh, and you do? Fucking ungodly cool guy? You understand how he thinks? Self-proclaimed ungodly cool guy? How he thinks? You remember this, I presume. The I broke the vase sorry apology. I mean, Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony. Jackie and Akira? Oh god, wow. Jackie from fucking Darkness? I don't know why that's where I immediately went. Old-timer is a little senile, but even he can't be so dumb as to not realize he's looking in a mirror reflection the whole time. Yeah, no. Can we add Makoto? I mean... Sure, why not? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. Bro, we found the... Ah, we can't see it. Damn it. It's not an actual photo, but we've seen many times. Also, there's no mirror in this fucking picture, by the way. Did the cops remember seeing a giant fucking mirror? Or did they have to move that out of the way, you stupid idiot? Let's get Gumshoe in here. He responded, right? Yo, was there a giant fuck-off mirror in the middle of the goddamn restaurant when you showed up to get the body? You remember that at all? It was 6 by 13, kind of hard to miss. Ahem, but I digress. We can't see the earpiece in this photo, but we've seen a few times like a, I don't know what you call it, like a rendition or an imagination shot of him head-on being dead, and it's still on his left side, so... Unfortunately, I can't show that. Ahem. Steve Austin in his ATV. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece. And that is my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's I keep wanting to say HDMI. HMD made a big impression on the old man. music. Oh god, him imitating Kudo.
I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear.
Funky Kong, now featuring Funky Kong. Ha! Well, trite.
Erk, that's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever.
Yeah, see, he was doing an impression.
I really thought he was old seedy for a minute there. Godot's good.
Thank you. I try. Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony.
Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash.
I mean, you still want to get that looked at. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. Of course it can. Trick mirrors. A two-way mirror. Or a one-way mirror. It's a thing! So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears.
Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at Le Plan du Restaurant.
Consider Linkara for his running, or Pepsi Man. I don't know Linkara well enough to understand why him running is a meme. I just kind of like the idea of him in a game running places. Pepsi Man would be good, though. Bring that guy back. He can race alongside the Burger King. You know, the Sneak King. Just fucking full-ass sprint.
Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably?
I can't wait to press that statement.
Le mirror...
He would have seen himself at some point. He would have had to walk past the mirror to get to his table. He's either... No, he had to have been top left for this to make any sense, which would have had him walk past the mirror. Because bottom right, it doesn't reach far enough, and bottom left, he wouldn't see anything. He wouldn't... Fucking stupid case.
The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant dividing the two halves. There is only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim.
Again, he would have walked past the fucking mirror.
He also probably would have seen double of the waitress at some point. Or the waitress disappearing behind the mirror when she walked around it. God!
That is the seat at the table next to the victim's side where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved my mirror so it was not in the way.
And no one noticed that, huh? Fucking Maggie at no point noticed the mirror. Kudo didn't notice you moving it. The cops weren't like, what's this fucking mirror doing here? God almighty. There was a Burger King racing game? No, there was a racing game that had Burger King in it. A little different. Can we include anyone from WWE Crush Hour? No. A line needs to be drawn, and I'm going to say it's there.
But naturally, I did not touch anything else.
Stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Fucking come on, Judge. Come on. You're better than that. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. Other than it's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. And I sat in on a magician who was trying to tell the prosecution, get this, guys, was trying to convince us he could actually fly. It was so dumb. Oh, what a case that was. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror.
What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing a women like this.
Don't worry about it. So fucking stupid. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there.
Arg, I hate that guy. Who is that masked man?
You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Okay, Pat, White Roses. Yeah, anyone else but the Frenchie here has yet to mention the mirror. And even if you think about it for 1 second, it's like this cannot possibly make any sense. There are so many problems with this. Are you quite sure about that?
Volunteer, of course.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. Alright. Let's hear it, Gene. Oh, I was hoping to press her as everyone's sitting comfortably. That'd been fun. Ahem. So run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct? We? Really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Yeah. Among so many other problems. Look who's talking, trite. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But this is my seat in the courtroom. Trebien's charm is that it gives you the impression that you're the only customer. It doesn't need to try very hard, let me tell you. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. No, it would. Also, we've just established it allowed Kudo to see the other customer. Clearly, it's a flaw. Unlike you, trite. Godot, the fact that you're defending this is really making me think less and less of you. This is inexcusable. The mask-to-mask shit was alright, fine, whatever. The fact that you're on the side of the mirror in this case is really like, oh, come on. Edgeworth and Von Karma would never allow this. They would be threatening this witness of like, why didn't you tell me? This is ridiculous. They wouldn't be like, oh yeah, of course, a mirror makes perfect sense.
I tell you, monsieur, le mirror was there in the middle of the restaurant.
There's only one seat from which you could have seen the image of the victim. And for some reason, you put him there.
And where would that be? Ooh la la, look at how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer.
Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once. We cannot afford distractions at my age.
I attract the older ones too, you know. Handsome. Shall I tease you too?
Sits up a little bit, leans forward. Oh my! I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. He's referring to his coffee in this case. Even though the mirror was placed there, given how the victim was seated, the old-timer would still see the earpiece and gadget thing being the victim's left, not his right. Yeah, you're 100% right. There's also that fucking problem, given where he's seated. He wouldn't see it if it was on his right side, and then he would see it here. But no, like, if it's... Oh, shit, this is confusing. So, he'd see it here. It's on his left. It would all have to be on his left for him to see it, given where he's sitting and where Kudo was sitting. But if in some fantasy realm he didn't know there was a mirror, he would think he's looking across diagonally, so it would be looking like his right? I don't know why I'm entertaining this. This is the stupidest thing in the world. I'm not gonna bother dissecting this. I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. It's actually that's not bad, Maya. That's a good burn.
Bien, I would tell you, there was only one seat from which you could have seen.
See at the table, next to the victim. So, why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? Also, that's not true at all. Where's the floor plan? Crime photo, that's the floor plan. The way the mirror is set up, you absolutely could have seen the victim if you're in the bottom rightmost seat, by the way. But, you know, why let the truth get in the way of this entire fantasy we're spinning here?
Mais monsieur, it is obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you understand.
Yep, there's no seat in the entire restaurant where you can see the victim other than that one. Not a single one. Fucking fans hate this case. Yeah, I can see why. This is awful. Kudo is not good, and this testimony is complete nonsense. It's so infuriating and bad. No. I just look at this and go, no, this did not happen. Stop acting like it did and making me prove it didn't. This is insane.
The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would see everything, no? So that's the seat old Seedy was sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened, the old man was sitting at a table next to the victim. Why does that seem kind of odd?
Because this whole thing is a fantasy. Let me check the evidence real quick. Broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. Oh, is that going to be the tell? I'm looking at everything that has to do with the old man. Crime photo. Ah, yeah, it's... Didn't break the vase, did he? Okay, well, there that is. Let's keep doing this, though. Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police? Eventually proposed the old-time victim seated in the mirror claims literally the only way he could have seen it. His gadget earpieces in his left ear. Yeah, Arg, this is complete nonsense. This would never hold up in any court of law except this one. Even for Phoenix Wright, this is a bit much.
Oui, exactement. I carried it out of the restaurant.
The 6-foot by 12-foot mirror fit through the door comfortably. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself?
What can I say? I know how to pick things up. Handsome.
Oh, I actually laughed at something. He's picturing Armstrong cradling Phoenix romantically. Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Yeah, but A, there's no way he's got a 12-foot arm span, so he didn't pick it up lengthwise, which means it would have had been up and down. This guy really has a 6.5-foot arm span that he can just grab the edges of the mirror and I guess he could have dragged it out from the side. I assume it had like a stand to hold itself up with. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong?
I look like the obliging type, no?
Naturally, I did not touch anything else. Are you sure about that? Oh, well. The medicine. We're gonna have to work... Oh, he touched the medicine, but we're gonna have to work on the mirror and the vase thing later, I guess.
I touched nothing except le mirror.
Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene?
Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on exactly what.
Ha! Suffering from a case of heartburn, trite.
I have...
To remind you, just in case.
I have just the thing for that, an oil with a golden mirror and frankincense.
Myrrh, not mirror, by the way. Add a few drops to your coffee, and voila, enjoy bathwater.
Focus, Phoenix! Breathe! I need to ignore these two and find some evidence.
Very strange, though, isn't it? I mean, nobody else mentioned... Yeah, that is strange. I think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, it didn't see it. The only logical explanation is... It's so incredibly stupid, it's obviously a lie. I've just got to prove it somehow. Alright, that's the beginning again. I did not touch anything else. I'm gonna try the medicine bottle. Oh, it's... Well, no, it wound up in the kitchen. That's an angle of attack, I guess. The fingerprints are unidentified, but it did wind up in the kitchen. Like suffering from outrage testimonies pulling out of his asshole. Yeah. I mean, he did touch it and it wound up in the kitchen. Okay, that's not what they want me addressing. So it goes. Okay, so what are they talking about with the mirror? That was the seat, the table next to the victim. Oh, okay, so... That one, I think I present this because it talks about his seat and he broke the vase, but looking at the crime scene photo, he didn't break the vase, clearly. Yep, okay. Your Honor, Mr. Kudo's words yesterday strongly contradict Mr. Armstrong's testimony. This is the letter of apology that was written by Mr. Kudo, is it not? I realize it looks useless, Your Honor, but this is still a testimony. Ha! I guess useless people are really only good at identifying useless things. Didn't you just identify two things as useless? Or okay. What relevance does this scrap of paper have to the trial, Mr. Wright? Mr. Kudo's testimony is actually very relevant to the question at hand, Your Honor. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. I'm gonna assume the crime photo. Yeah, okay. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have just heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist.
What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
Should not exist. Ha! Sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite. Go on, shut the fuck up! You have one joke, and it's that you don't like me. Get over it.
Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement.
Something that should not exist. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on his table where he was sitting, excuse me. And yet, as the court can see, there was an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. Oh, that's impossible. That's the part you have a problem with. The idea that this witness is lying is beyond the realm of possibility. Not everything else he said. God almighty. People give him shit for this, right? Like, whatever happens after the case, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're Godot, I remember you. Boy, you really fucking with that restaurant, huh? You really were on the wrong side, huh? Can't believe you fucking argued that mirror thing. That seats the... So angry. It's not the only... The only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly! I'm so mad at this case. I'm so mad at this case. There is only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Trebian that day. Because it would be the stupidest thing in the world. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu! Do love the butt, though. Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Witness lying in Ace Attorney game? No way. Yeah, I know. The mere idea. He would know. Look at Armstrong. Is that the face of a man that would lie? Come on. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the court in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
Sniffle. I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. Yup. We've spent 40 minutes proving that.
In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in his ear in which he couldn't hear? You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, then this problem is all yours.
Is it? How do you explain what the old man saw? With his eyes, and without any sort of mirror involved. What the fuck do you mean? If I can answer this, then I'll be much closer to the truth. I can feel it. I mean, okay, can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? There's a reason fans don't like this case. Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD at the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason. Why nothing in this case is adding up.
Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer.
Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions of Mr. Christmas is simple. He made a mistake. The ear doctor made a mistake. The victim was a phony. Well, it's probably not these two. Well, he definitely made a mistake, but that's irrelevant. The ear doctor made a mistake is probably irrelevant and wouldn't get us anywhere. The victim was a phony, which it does kind of make sense. Because the old man's like, she put the fucking powder in the drink, but Maggie obviously didn't do that. There's only one guy. El Tigre's going around pretending to be other people already and shit. Yeah. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet there is one. I wouldn't call it simple, Phoenix. Wouldn't call it simple, but it is an answer that clears them all up. Oh, the other thing was, and I don't like the game didn't highlight this. It was a real blink and you miss it, but hold on. I don't even know if it's in the testimony. Yeah, so at 1:30 is the radio for the lottery, and Elg won that. And assuming it starts at 1:30 and they announce it 10 minutes in. This all happened at 1:40 was when this happened. So Kudo, however, because of the autopsy report, died anywhere between 1:30 and 2:30. Kudo didn't call them until like 2:20 or something like that. He said because he had to go and find a phone. But even then, it said he still only took him 5 minutes to find it. There's a huge time discrepancy there. And Armstrong was alone for however long he was going for the phone. Massive time discrepancy between when the lottery was won and when the cops showed up after Kudo called them. They don't really ever talk about that, and I think they should, but I did catch that. Prevalent and unlikely how difficult to diagnose as someone having an ear problem. What's worse, this case, the circus from Ace Attorney 2. Oh, that's tough. The problem with the circus in Ace Attorney 2 is that everything about it, there's like, I don't know, there's a lot of ick to it, because like, she's only 15, and people are talking about having crushes on her, and like, he obviously can't fly, and the way the murder happened doesn't make any sense, because you need like a pulley system set up, or the statue would be dragged up the side of the building. Also, Acro's a dickhead who wanted to murder a child who accidentally got his brother killed. The only child of the man who took him in and continued to pay him. And somehow people are like, in the game anyway, they're like, oh, poor Acro. And it's like, no, he's a dickhead. Don't fucking... Acro's a complete dickhead. Whereas this one, it's just a complete fucking mess. And there's less annoying things, which is to say there are fewer annoying things. But I am getting more annoyed here. I think this one I dislike more. But for different reasons than I dislike the circus. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed is the incident the victim experienced. Like, the circus one is just a complete nonsense fabrication. None of that could have happened, should have happened, or made any sense. This, it's like one or two things that are completely inane. But, like... El Tigre is fine. I like him. I like Viola. Maggie's in it, which is nice. There are some good jokes where, like, Maya leaves and comes back as Mia in the waitress outfit. That's a great gag. None of that happens in the circus one. It's a hard pick. The circus case mostly because the unaddressed pedophilia and the sympathetic, not sympathetic culprit. Yeah, those are definitely two massive problems, but I don't know. I didn't get quite as annoyed with nonsense explanation like this. I don't remember getting as annoyed in the circus because people weren't like, oh yeah, somebody had a cannon out back and they shot Max over the top. He landed on it and then a bungee cord pulled him back and then I have to disprove that somehow. None of that happened. That happened in this case and it's infuriating. The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. Why'd my phone go off? Text from my brother. Okay, I can address that later. Ahem. Thankfully, the next two cases are really good. Yeah, I've heard that. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter. A phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. But it was in his left ear. He had no, sorry, it was his left eye. He had the radio in his left ear. My bad. So confusing. Order! Order in the court. Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom. Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? He's the fucking... What did you say? Trite. Are you saying what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretending to be Glenn Elg acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one, Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? To... What? To forge a crime scene. What? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was...
Serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well.
Yeah, they, and by they I mean Viola, made like a deliberate showing of putting something in the coffee, but hiding her face at the same time. Meanwhile, of course, Maggie never did any of that. It's so hard to believe, but... It is indeed a forgery. There you go. There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It is also true the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. Oh, I don't know! Do you think it's maybe more or less likely he didn't notice than multiple people not noticing a giant fucking mirror? But I digress. That's right, well, witness. If your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct?
Ooh la la, this is most difficult for me.
Kind of with the goat on this one, Judge being there makes a little no difference most of the time. What do you mean? Legally, he has to be there. Makes things worse at times. Well, we wouldn't get anything done without a judge. And we haven't broken any pots. Never. Me? Never. Don't watch my Zelda playthroughs. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath, after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Trebian that day? The defense demands Mr. Armstrong tells the whole truth about what happened.
The defendant's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain, in detail, the events in the restaurant that day.
Ooh, oui. Le victim, Monsieur Elg, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he had won the lottery, Mon Elg became very excited.
Sorry, I thought it was a full stop period there. It's an abbreviation of Monsieur.
It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred.
That would be 1:45 at the latest.
No, there was no time for a phony to do the acting.
It would really help if you told us, like, when Kudo called the police.
Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all.
Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly.
Yeah, that's called perjury. Okay, that's literally what you've done is perjury. It's a crime.
What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong.
Thank you. Thank you. Jesus Christ, thank you.
I will decide how to punish you later.
Oh, he's gonna bring him to the buggery chamber and give him such a spanking?
Oui.
Well, now we will hear your cross-examination. Mr. Wright, if you please.
Also, didn't Godot say there was a mirror delivered to your restaurant the day before? What actually did happen with that mirror? If you didn't use it in the rest... Okay, whatever.
He took that perjury charge a bit too well.
But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. Do you think Armstrong is in on this forgery as well? Oh, he'd have to be. There's no way this could all happen without him noticing. Came to my restaurant alone. Ugh. Was he alone at his table as well?
Mais oui, I saw him from Le Kitchen.
Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Objection! Ha! Unfortunately for you, Trite. Yesterday's witness also testified the victim was alone. Yeah, and Maggie testified he wasn't there. What's your point? You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite.
What kind of coffee has he been drinking?
It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem all wise all of a sudden. How many years for perjury? I I think it's a fine, right? Like, it might be some jail time and a fine. But I don't know if it's years, yeah. I guess it also does depend on the fucking degree, but, you know, or how much you've done. Once the judge is right on point, perjury is a serious crime. Oh, yeah. You're also basically thrown out. Anything you say is now suspect, and your testimony is no longer valid. But screw that.
By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Oui, it comes often for my special coffee.
I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience.
Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome anytime.
I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So old man Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. What time was it? Holy crap. Finally. Finally. What time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it Mr. Kudo arrived?
Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur.
Fuck you. Ugh. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 by a scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? Ace Attorney Universe perjury seems to only get you a slap on the wrist at best, since almost every witness does it. Well, to be fair, a large number of the time the witness is also the one who committed the crime. So when they're slapped with the murder charge and put in jail, they also wind up with a perjury charge, I'm sure. Waterworld for best SNES game? You're out of your fucking mind. Super Mario World. First video game I ever played, so it has a special place in my heart. Checking could be up to 5 years, depending on the degree. Oh, wow, for perjury.
The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived.
That doesn't... What? Wait. No, that cannot be correct. Because the lottery's announced, again, 1:40 at the latest. 1:30, possibly, because they say 10 minutes, but 1:30 might still be when it's announced. You said 5 minutes later, he was poisoned. So 20 minutes after he arrived. No, that doesn't add up at all.
So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10.
Yeah, nope, yeah, can't be. Just after 2, huh?
Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful.
I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? He is absolutely going to be punishing Gene Armstrong later. The time of day will be... Sorry, I was picturing it. Time of day will be added to the witness's testimony.
Oui, monsieur judge. Everything I do for you.
Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Oh. I'm glad at least one person's in a good mood. Yeah, he's gonna have the best sex of his life later. What do you mean? Look at Armstrong and tell me that's not going to be the best sex of his life. He's even humming a song to himself. Tell me there's fan art of those two, right? The judge and the fucking... and Armstrong. It's gotta be. AO3, number one... Well, number 2 couple after Phoenix and Edgeworth. This old man was farting around for a good 40, 60 minutes after witnessing a murder. Time frame doesn't add up. Yeah, no, not at all. Are you absolutely sure about that time?
When I think really odd, I am sure it was just after 2, oui. It is the time I stopped serving the lunch menu.
Quite right. I always break for lunch when restaurants are serving their specials. I've been known to wind up a case early just to make it on time. Judge, people have died because of you. You know, you understand this, right? Probably those who didn't deserve it. Ha ha! I guess you should never get between a hungry judge and his lunch. Oh, would you look at that? It's almost lunchtime already. Witness, get on with your testimony, please. Chrono Triggered. Chrono Trigger's a good one. Oh yeah, judges absolutely murdered people. There were no other customers. So your only customers are Mr. Kudo and the victim. Let's hope for the benefit of the doubt that when he says wrap up a case early, he means call that's enough for today. I think we need to investigate more. Recess Time for lunch. Let's hope that's what it is. How many times do you need to ask the same thing, Trite? You did accuse Maya of nuking Turkey. Not canonically. You'd never catch me drinking the same blend twice. Boy, that's gotta be expensive. Huh? You're trying to establish the presence of a phony victim in the restaurant, but you're wasting your time. You can't grind birdseed to make coffee, if you catch my drift. No, what? But there's a hole in his testimony somewhere, I'm sure of it. They're canon, damn it. Maybe to you, but Goobus Doobus cartoons are not canon to Phoenix Wright. No matter how funny or scarily accurate to the attitude of that universe they might be. Did you see him? RGG could port the PSP games. They could. I don't know if they will.
No, I was in the kitchen, but I aired him.
I also wouldn't want a port of those because they're PSP games. I would want a full remake of those games.
I remember him shouting, "Yes, $500,000!
Presumably, the defendant heard that too, then, correct?
Maggie. She looked like a poor little frightened dove.
And what about Mr. Kudo?
The old man choked on some bird seeds that got stuck in his throat.
It seems we now have yet another incident on our hands. Approximately 5 minutes later, that the poisoning incident occurred. And what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill.
I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur.
Sorry, what do you mean?
There is the renowned chef Regime Armstrong and the tragic poet Clarice Armstrong.
Clarice.
Oui, I was writing a poem, an angry tale of a chef in $500,000 of debt, cooking for a man who won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Pourquoi? It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for the court.
Please don't. I would love nothing more than to hear that. The guys who made Def Jam made the PSP Yakuza games? Oh. Huh. Interesting. Wait, which Def Jam? Because Def Jam 1 and 2 are good, and then we don't talk about the third one. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred?
I asked the old man to call from Le Payphone.
By your own argument, Trite. The purpose of this phony victim's performance was so the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, this opportunity would completely disappear. Indeed!
Bien. It seems the shadow of doubt has been lifted, ce n'est pas?
I guess Mr. Armstrong is connected to this case, huh? Did you just fucking get here, Maya? What do you mean? Detective, by the way. Absolutely. Like, duh, Maya. Someone was impersonating Mr. Elgin. I refuse to believe he was oblivious. He was there the whole time, after all. But if you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too? She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember? Ah! You mean that's when the phony staged his act? We'll know for sure once I find a hole in his testimony. And fashion styler for the Switch. Huh. Alright then. Okay, that's pressed everything. Just after 2 p.m., no other customers. So 5 minutes later, the poisoning occurred. So... this is the one that's time, which leads me to believe that, that's when I should present, the flyer, which is right here. But... what is this? That's Viola's medical papers. Ah! But, it might also be prudent to say the poisoning happened 5 minutes after that and present it here. I mean, it's one of them, so what have I got to lose? Cool. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong.
Quoi? What do you mean?
At the time in question, the victim was listening to a radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers of $500,000 lottery ticket.
Oui, that must be the show mon Elg was listening to.
I can't see any problem with the testimony, Mr. Wright. That's because you're a blind old idiot, Your Honor. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at the restaurant after 2 p.m., correct?
Oui, oui. I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now.
Ahem. Sorry, I'm having to move some things around real quick. Right. Ahem.
I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu.
Get to the point, right? If you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. Not a claim that I support, but that is what they claim. It's on the air at 1:30? Now, supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. Okay, so it did wrap up at 1:30. No! This victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to radio with a ruptured eardrum. Catching a show that was already over. There is only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. The victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning minutes 30 minutes after the real murder. I will say, that is a quick turnaround on getting an imposter going. Yes, there were 2 Glen Elgs at Trebian that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer. And this phony Glen Elg acting out the events of Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Is he gonna say it's a fucking rebroadcast or something? Before he claims he recorded the radio program and listened to it later. That would be dumb. A rebroadcast makes more sense. Still wrong, but it makes more sense. Quite a performance, right? You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. You know the musician is the next game, right? Oh, sorry, getting ahead of myself. What is this, Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain where the real Glen Elg is? In the kitchen! Because he's in on it. They fucking took his clothes off and... Oh, for God's sakes. I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at the time the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? Just in the back with Armstrong. The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg. Then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Nah! Armstrong's in on it! It was just in the back kitchen with him. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Oh, evidence, huh? I was hoping you'd pull up the floor plan and be like, where was it? Ahem. What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. Glen Elg conceived? Inside Trebian. It would have had to have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside of Trebian. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright. Oh, okay, phew. Yes, Your Honor. The exact location where the body was concealed in Trebian? I'm just anywhere in the kitchen, I would hope. The body was hidden here! I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Ah, crap. Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? It could be the medicine. Because it's his ear medication that was found in there, right? Probably not this. No. Definitely. No. No. I don't even know why I had this. No. No. Near the kitchen. I mean, no. They obviously put the body back after Kudo left, but... it's gotta be the medicine. I can't think of anything else it could be. Why do I still have this? Do I really need it? The rebroadcast doesn't really add up either. It would be rebroadcast just 30 minutes later. I mean... yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense either, but it's... I'm just saying it's definitely something they could have brought up. I don't fucking control the radio. I don't slot the programming in for Millionaire Radio, Arg. If they had said a rebroadcast, I would have been like, oh, well, I guess so. I don't really have an argument against that. Yeah, okay. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle?
No. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me.
Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interesting that you would ask me, Your Honor, because I have no reason to lie about this. It was found in the kitchen of Trebian. Trust me. No one else can verify that, but trust me, it was found there. The only person that can verify that is Maya, who definitely isn't on my side about this. Isn't that right, Maya? Yes! Ha! Learn Armstrong's fancy foreign words. Apparently, qua was the last one. Thank you. Close that now. And that'll be a recipe for turnabout once we're done here. Ahem.
But I'll never use the bottle.
Thank you.
I'll never use the bottles for my aromatherapy oils.
But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an clinic and was given a medication that day. An ear clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense has the contents of the bottle to be analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle match the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. Glenn Elk's murderer hid the bottle in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen?
Mon Dieu.
Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client. We're insisting... okay, whatever. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back.
No.
Maybe we need Armstrong to say it wasn't me, it was El Tigre the whole time. This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg?
Never. I could not do such an horrible thing.
No. Mr. Godot! The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. Hey, Godot, you're cool! Fucking drink up, you son of a bitch! That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? It's probably not enough coffee in the state of California, which is definitely where we are. Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. You down them? The sax is a very different tone when you're threatening to down somebody, Godot. Okay, then. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear? My H-deficient friend. H. Oh, because he's French and doesn't pronounce the letter H. Clever.
Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor.
Isn't that Spanish? Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong. And por favor is Spanish. Oh, the judge speaks Spanish. Learn something new every day, I guess. I'm only going to ask once. Did you do it?
No, absolutely no.
Even if LT Gray did it, doesn't change Armstrong was accomplice. Oh yeah. But oh, he might not be, when he said you did a good job defending Maggie Bird, he might not be accusing him of pretending to be Phoenix Wright in court. He might be like, it sure looked like you were protecting Maggie Bird. You put on a great performance at the restaurant, but clearly it was all a scam. You were setting it up to make it look like she fucked up or something. I don't know.
I simply...
Let's hear it. You've got one shot, right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. It's not really... I mean, fuck, I'd commit perjury just for the hell of it at that point. Like, so what? He threw a mug at me. As does my gavel.
Oui, it is clear.
Alright. Being beaten to death by an old man with a hammer and Godot with a mug of coffee doesn't sound like a good evening, so maybe I wouldn't bother.
What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this.
Armstrong was assisting. Yeah, absolutely. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. Interesting. According to the guide, I'm supposed to press the confession as well for all his French words, but fuck, listen. I don't care what the circumstances, the achievement popped, and that's all I give a shit about.
It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice.
Something more serious better be awaiting him than a coffee mug. You have a new opinion. Oh? What's that opinion?
I had to go along with him because there's a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it, you must believe me.
You were forced? By who?
I cannot say, or I would be erased.
Let's try a different question then. When Mr. L died, was he really the only person at his table?
There was...
Oh my god.
There was another man.
Dude, Purchase is clearly accomplice in murder. Oh yeah. I knew it. And, framing it as well. What is it? He fixed a crime scene, which is also... It has its own special name as a crime.
Maggie was telling the truth.
Obstruction, I guess? You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright.
There's one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer.
Tampering with a crime scene, sure, yeah. Tampering, obstruction, he's probably gonna get a lot of charges. And look at him, he's not gonna survive in prison. Well, he's going to be very popular, I'll give you that.
It is true, I hid the body.
I hid the body in the kitchen. My first playthrough of OG Persona 5, I dated Makoto and Royal. I dated Takemi, but now I might be into Kawakami more. Okay. Congratulations. They're all fictional. Did you carry the body by yourself?
Oui, I carried him and I carried Maggie too.
Maggie too? I mean, look at the dude, he's jacked.
When she saw the victim collapse, she fainted. I could not leave her there.
But why did you hide the bodies? Man forced me to do it, I had no choice. What man? Who was he?
No, I cannot say. I fear for my life.
He's really scared.
We'll just have to put the words into his mouth, Nick.
Yeah, you're right. If you won't tell me, I'll tell him. But why would you go along with this man? Had to, there's a reason which I could not refuse. Yakuza 4 is your new favorite Yakuza game? Huh, what a weird way to say I've never played Zero. What reason would that be, Mr. Armstrong?
You know, monsieur.
Yes.
Surely you cannot expect a young maiden to talk about such an embarrassment.
A maiden? You're a bit old to get away with that. And clearly you fucked. I mean, look at you. You sling so much dick. And a bit too male. Maya, please. It's Transvisibility Day. I can't finish the cross-examination without establishing his reason. So I'll just have to prove it with evidence. Not kill him. Love 0, but 4 is great. 4 is there, but I mean 0 exists. The point is, even if and when we prove that somebody else than Maggie did it, Frenchie isn't walking away from this case scot-free. No, absolutely not. His charges in relation to the crime keep adding up practically by the second. True, but you know what? Even with all those charges, it's probably still not as bad as the murder charge, which I'm pretty sure gets you capital punishment in this universe. If you kill someone... For Drew's Akiyama? Yeah, it did. But 0 let you play as Majima. You're claiming that all you did was hide the bodies, is that correct?
Oui, that's right.
If we are to believe you, Mr. Armstrong, you must tell the court everything. You must make clear the identity of the man who ordered you to do this.
He's already confessed this much. He might as well stop dancing around the real issue.
Yeah, but he really doesn't want to tell us who the killer is.
Then sock it to him, Nick.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Okay, a man... I just present El Tigre, I guess? Yeah. Let's end the dance of Ring Around the Rosie, Mr. Armstrong. Dead Souls let you play as Majima. Why isn't that game loved? Because it's Dead Souls. It introduced gun combat into a melee-focused game, ran at about 12 frames a second, and controlled like ass. Pretty much it. This is the man you've been referring to.
Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
Oh, I don't know, maybe a month ago in this very courtroom. This man is Furio Tigre. He's manager of a loan office called Tender Lender. He's also one of the only good parts of this case, Your Honor. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against Mr. Tigre, at least not while he had this on you. Loan agreement, which is... God, is it this over here? Jesus Christ. He probably won't get the death sentence. He'll probably do time as well. Yeah. But it's canon that some of the people you've put away have been killed because they are killers. Morgan Le Fay, I think, and Von Karma were both killed, well, executed by the state. Which, it's kind of rough to think about that, like, well, I guess not always. Frank Solwit shows up, the very first guy who killed somebody. He shows up in Edgeworth, too. So, he wasn't killed, or he's, you know, waiting to be killed. Maybe it... no, I was going to say severity, but, I mean, a death's a death, right? A $500,000 loan from the black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you.
Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong, Le Tigre, he told me he was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the innocent Maggie out.
Wait, what? And the inconscient? Just say unconscious, dude.
Maggie out of the dining area. And into the kitchen. After that, I tried to forget what I had seen.
I think we now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre.
I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well?
No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it. I was not. It is despicable.
Mr. Godot.
So at this point, Can we just declare Maggie not guilty, and then we can be done? Let's go get Tigre, right? Like, clearly Maggie's innocent, Your Honor. Please? You will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. Name a dude Furio Tigre as a choice on the devs part? Dude, that's not even remotely the worst fucking name these guys have done. There's a fucking dude who's a governor called Paul Attition, alright? His name is Paul Attition. Like, come on. 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, trite. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. I mean... Yes, we do. Shut up, you. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We'll resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. I'm off to get lunch! What game has politician in it? Well, it's P-A-L. Paul, obviously. And, it's Spirit of Justice, I believe. The most recent one that isn't Great Ace Attorney. That one's got a couple zingers, like, the dude who shows you around is named I'll Be Your Guide. You know, I'll be your guide. It's I'll be your guide. Like, fucking shut up. No effort. There's like a hippie monk named Peace, Love, and Understanding. It's like, fucking, come on, man. Was it, like, 3 o'clock on a Friday and you just wanted to go home already? What's with these names? So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. You've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now. Also can forget... Inga Kirkul, how could this name be any longer or more pompous than it already is? Quran III. Well, can't argue with that. He said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified to is the truth. Right, but the alternative is the mirror happened? What? You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know. But if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling we don't have a case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe. What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's a pot calling the kettle black, Miss Topknot. It's not a top knot! I mean, it kinda is, Maya. Is it a bun? I don't know what you got going on, but it really looks like a top knot. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still while I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Yeah, be here when we get the tiger in and be like, oh yeah, I was at the Westawant. That guy absolutely tried to beat up Mr. Phoenix White and steal evidence that he had. So, yeah, Putty show 100% guilty, Your Honor. Well, I'm gonna take a jog down to back to the precinct. I get some points analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? I will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said get some fingerprints analyzed done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? What are you doing, Nick? Gumshoe's gonna check some prints for us. Shouldn't he be checking this? Oh, of course. See, I wanted to know who'd been holding my badge. That's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Victim's ear medication was found in the kitchen. Look, it even says covered in unidentified prints right here in the court record. You're right. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. So you look into it for us? Awesome. What about the thing I asked you to run a check on? Oh, that. Sure, I'll see what I can do if I've got any spare time. Spare time? I feel so unimportant right now. Small ball given to Gumshoe. No, wait, my badge! I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose this case before I get back. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. Old Godzilla was hopping around, Tokyo City like a big playground. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. Yeah, alright. 156. Court will now reconvene for Mr. Godot. Did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on! He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness. Please state your name and Don't hide under the table, Maya, unless there's room for me down there, too. What do you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Honest. Who would have guessed the fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent from the judge? She was wearing the Phoenix suit. That would have been great. Imagine you could sock off yourself by giving him the wrong evidence. Well, I had a save point not that far back, so it would have been fine. But yeah, no, Furio Tigre is definitely one of the more fun parts of this case, and I think that's part of what makes it... There's moments of this case I find more aggravating than the circus, but this also has a lot more that I like in it than the circus, meaning the circus is overall the worst case. Gumshoe free time is probably all you have if you don't want Maggie to receive death sentence. You better work your ass off. I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? Ack? No, of course not. It was the judge is gone. Alternative side profile point of view. Shut up. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me. Carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe yous didn't hear me. I said who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What'd you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Too cool. Is what I would say if he wasn't a pompous little douche. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the... Also, he argued that the mirror made sense. Alright, I can never forgive Godot for that. Fuck you. Fuck your mirror. Fuck your goddamn coffee. Fuck your stupid robot eyes. You may be blind, but even kids can see why Cinnamon Toast. Fuck you! Ha! Know about the incident in question, correct? Why does he have robot eyes? We'll get to that. I think that's explained in the last case. As in the final one, not the previous one. Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, Mask Boy. Who is that masked man? You didn't. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course! Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. I should have been under the table reading that, or like off camera, away from the mic. That would have been funnier. Phoenix Wright! That's me. You's the one that set this up, didn't you? You's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Gulp. Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today, so I could crap my pants in public and no one would know. Get a grip, Nick. Like if I had robot eyes, I'd explain as soon as I met someone, considering be considerate and ease their curiosity. Maybe a preferred info card to hand out. I mean, yeah, but maybe you want to have an air of mystery, huh? I don't know nothing about no murder.
I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Lender every single day. You want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Ah, at last I found my pen. Now, very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games the guy in blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, Smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you're gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. I don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tiger.
I don't think this should be allowed. Ha! I love a good spectator sport.
Just a minute. That's really not.
This witness is... how can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side, and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too.
Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus.
I'm going to impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Shit! I hate when they do that. Maybe worked in a factory checking for fingerprints. Now, it was a chemical factory, specifically. No one's gonna lose their fingerprints in a coal factory. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick.
Come out from under there already, would you?
Maya. Alright, well, I could look at the guide, but let me see if I can figure it out first. I don't know nothing about a murder. I mean, I want to press him on that, but that may not... That seems relevant. There is a murder. I was tied up with business, spent all of my time in the office. Got whales and I borrow cash from Lender every single day. You want to check my alibi? Ask Viola. I feel like this is the one to press. So he could, explain more about his business. I'm going to check the guide real quick. Oh, wow, it's all the way up here. Yep, that is the one I need to press. Could have saved and tested that way, but are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know.
You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is.
Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini?
She writes everything in my scheduler.
What? You mean schedule?
December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather, sketchy schedule.
Fucking. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing the day of the murder. So what now? Press harder. Mr. Tigre, what do yous want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. Objection. This is a dead end, Trite, and you know it. Remember the rules. Objection. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too?
Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me.
Aw, he runs a cat cafe. Oh, I see.
I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godard, if you could please.
Mr. Tigre, the court asks you add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let the animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. You're talking about I was in the office and never saw the kid before. Surely this fucking calendar would beg to differ. Huh? Nailed it. Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glen Elk, but it appears Mr. Elk knew you.
What?
Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd.
December 3rd? That's the 3rd of December.
So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg. Because the very day of the incident, you met with him. He does not wear the orange suit nearly as well as Damon Gant.
Not bad. You's actually not bad.
Sorry?
I was just messing with yous to see how good you were.
Cheer that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth.
Witness, please remember you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You's calling me a liar? Is that what you doing?
Ruh-roh! So you're saying your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth?
I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth.
Ha! Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. T. Gray.
Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court witness?
Never actually met the victim. That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nail this guy.
I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, 10 to lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't ever showed up. Never even been to this Trey Bien joint, yous hear?
Are we still under penalty here, or can I freely press him now?
I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. Lies!
Yeah, no, we have this matchbook found at Tender Lender, so. He's probably just gonna say some client left it there, though, if I had to imagine. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead.
Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. The bill's going straight to you, right?
Oh no, $8 for a train ticket. Whatever will I do?
Okay.
Ain't no liar. Never. Okay, I'm gonna save and see if I can freely press him at this point. And yet, your name was written on the victim's calendar.
Get that horse calendar out of my face. I'm the tiger, not a lame horse, you porcupine. Tigers like me eat horses like that for breakfast. No, no, no. Witnesses aren't permitted to eat evidence. Not that they ever would. Well, there was a case once where a young lad ate...
Anyway, if you had never met the victim before, how do you explain this note he left? That's funny. That's pretty funny. Ahem. Alright, so I can freely press at this point. That's very strange. According to the manager of the firm where the victim worked, December 3rd was the date he had to repay his loan. He wasn't due to discuss borrowing money, but repaying what he owed.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he was right. Whatever it was going down at the beginning of December. So you did meet him then? Hey, Mr. Wright, yous might want to cool your jets for a second.
Except meeting with the guy at Tenderlander. Nice callback to the judge when Nick down the necklace. Yeah. So your meeting wasn't supposed to be at Trey Bien then?
Why would I want to go to a dump like that?
If I want to talk with my clients, I got an office decked out for the job. You know, he does raise a point. He has a desk made of solid gold versus Trey Bien.
I got the best punching bag yous ever saw in there.
Not exactly a professional office you got there, you know. I mean, for a loan shark, I think it is, actually. So you were in your office on the day in question. Wait around for him, he ain't ever showed. He didn't show up? Ha! What do you think, trite? Let's see. How does a dead man get from a French restaurant to a loan shark's office? And you yourself didn't go to Trebian?
What are you trying to pin on me here? Why don't you come down to my office? We can chat about this my way, yeah? I got the best punching bag yous ever saw in there.
No need. I'm good, thanks.
Listen up, I ain't got nothing more to say except this.
I ain't never been to that Trebian joint, yeah?
Never.
Not even once.
Not even once. I was in my office the day it went down. I didn't put no poison in no kid's coffee, capiche?
Do you think he really didn't meet Glenn Elg?
No, of course he did!
Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy's behind the whole thing. So you mean that whole testimony you just gave was a lie? Of course. Maya, keep the fuck up. This is like your 12th case. Can't afford to give him time to think of ways to plug the leaks in it. I've got it nailed, but I still can. Alright, so it's the matchbook. Almost undoubtedly. Yeah. Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches?
Matches? What are you talking about?
We found them in your office. Just trust us on this one. No need to fact check. At your tender lender. They're from that restaurant. If you've really never been to Trebian before. What was the book of restaurant matches doing on your desk?
You've been snooping around in my stuff too now, wise guy. Where are you? My ball and chain ain't no broad controlling me.
Yeah, tuck your fucking shirt in, guy. Like, Damon Gant owned that suit. You look like you're clumsy in it.
Order, order, well witness. I think it's time you start telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said.
But okay, I was at the joint that day. Just say a client dropped it there. That's all you need to say.
But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid.
Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glenn Elk that day. And he put poison in his coffee. He must have. Trebian. Oh, boy. I need a new chair. This one is not... I gotta get more comfortable. This one is not comfy on the old ass.
I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door of the joint, I saw one ugly scene. And the guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. Heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office.
I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Simple way to explain is that a client left them. It'd be real hard for Phoenix to prove otherwise. Yeah, exactly. Or he could just be like, I walked by the place. They handed out a complimentary matchbook. There's 1,000 things he could have said, other than, yeah, okay, I guess I was there. Well, Mr. Wright, cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor.
Hold it! If I wait around any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions.
Ha, no problem. Oh, God, we're doing this again. Anytime Wright presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty.
Mr. Godot, that's my job.
Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it.
Yes, sir.
Fucking...
The Special Express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know, since you's paying.
Oh, man, how many goddamn trains are there to where you're going? Does the rule of law mean anything around here? No, Phoenix, no it doesn't. There's a bus, an express train, and the Special Express train. Like, it's a lot of fucking trains. Who are we defending, the dead guy still? Well, no, we're not defending the dead guy. He's obviously the victim. We're defending this woman. Was found guilty of murder thanks to the phony me. Because this guy pretended to be us and got her convicted of murder. Okay, so I need to only press relevant things. You're supposed to meet at the restaurant in the afternoon. There's one ugly scene. I was laid out over the table stiff as concrete. Figured the place wasn't how already it was going to be, so I split. Heard the cop sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. Surely this is the problem, because if we look at the floor plan... That's not the floor plan. Yeah, he opened the door and saw the victim here? Like, not fucking likely. I mean, I guess he might just say, look, obviously I walked inside a little bit, saw him, then turned around and left. I didn't just go to the door, go like, oh shit, and leave. But yeah, he wouldn't have seen the victim from the front door. You can easily double down a statement of never having been there without raising suspicion. Yeah. Did she do it? No. No, she didn't. This guy did it. Dude in the orange jumpsuit with a fucking tiger eating a dragon on it. Just check. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm just checking since there are penalties for doing anything wrong here. It's absolutely this. He saw him in the mirror. Nathan, I'm gonna... Fuck. You're something of a loan-collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigray? Need a drink. Of water, of course. No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Can you imagine how douchey it would be if I started drinking alcohol? I have to go hang out with my in-laws later tonight for dinner. And I'm like, sorry, wife, guess you're driving. I got sloshed on stream. She would be so mad, and rightly so. Well, I'm something of a lie-detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. Talons. Phoenix's talons. Nick, come on. Phoenix's talons. I think it's time we got something straight with you. What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigray. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Probably would have gone down as well a bit more. He's got peripheral, I assume. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables, there's a tall partition. Why, that's true! Stare. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision, any customer walking in, ends here. And probably a little bit further south, but whatever. If you told me the stare emote only had that narrow cone of vision, I'd believe you. Because that guy doesn't look like he has peripherals. So, from the entrance of Trebian, you couldn't have seen the victim. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him! Wrong. Have you forgotten what the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved the point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kudo, was not Glen Elg, but a fake. What? Hot take, I think 3DS is better handheld than the Switch. It has a better library. I mean, they're about as powerful, right? It has a better library, and I also don't think the Switch should be a handheld. I think Nintendo should focus on a more powerful, dedicated TV console. This weird hybrid they have, I don't like. I don't think it's good. Some people like it, I don't. It's my take. If you want a handheld, fine. Keep making handhelds. Don't combine them. Or if you do combine them, make it like a fucking Steam Deck where it's actually powerful and can run games. In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed the victim just as he killed and acted out a charade. Armstrong stated someone else, or someone was with Elg. Yeah, also he did just say that. Switch doesn't have Rhythm Heaven. Not yet, to be fair. Might get it still. I mean, fuck, they got two WarioWares. The Wii U only got one. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this masked man? And more importantly, the real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glen Elk. then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. Oh, he's not part of this. Ahem. Mask to mask! Obviously, the killer is Elfiro Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Now that's cute. Yous think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe yous don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dares you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's a defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You's got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, don't leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot! Clearly it was Lisa Mazo! It was Akiyama. They got the wrong money lender. I mean, true, they did. Lion's king of the jungle, not tiger. Okay, Arg, you go tell him that. Go, actually, the tiger is not the king of the jungle. It's the lion. Why have you ripped my arms off and beat me to death with them, Mr. Tigre? You talk a lot of shit from behind a keyboard, Arg. You gonna correct him in person? Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see the victim. Oh, no. Different jungle. Ah, well, there you go. I don't know why we're entertaining Kudo's testimony, but flashback. My voice is tired. I don't want to do it. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. I think it does! What do you mean it doesn't matter? The fact remains, he saw the accused put poison into the coffee. No. What the fuck are you talking about? If that wasn't the victim, then she didn't put poison in it. What? Never lost a case, by the way, or fucking undefeated before he met me. Supposedly one of my most dangerous opponents. Firmly believes his argument to make sense here. It doesn't matter if what they saw was actually the murder or not. The thing he saw just before this possibly not murder totally happened and is therefore relevant. Godot's a fucking idiot. Does have a cool mask, but man, he's really letting that get to his head. I was gonna be very annoyed at Phoenix saying that was impressive, because no, that's a terrible fucking argument. Out here eliminating people's perfect records. Well, they said he never lost, and then it was revealed he never had a single case to begin with, 7-9, so he'd also never won. His perfect record was 0-0. And now he's only gotten L's because, he clearly sucks at this and isn't a good lawyer. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha! Found your pen at last, trite. Can we romance him? I mean, no. Armstrong's right there. Why would you romance anyone else? It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright. I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg really was the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin this murder on her. Who on earth is it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Shit, I presented my badge by accident, that's on me. What's the matter, Your Honor? Oh, nothing. I just dropped my pen again. Don't mind me, carry on with proceedings as normal. I think again while he's down there, Nick. Might have actually dropped his pen. I found my pen! My bad. Just mashed Y, that one's on me. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tenderlender. He was making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Clearly, it was Bruno Cadaverini. Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, had stated the following. Flashback. What? Again, my voice. Doing El Tigre's voice is rough, and I don't want to do other voices with it. Certainly not higher-pitched ones. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. She had this kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table, who nobody, Mr. Bird, seems to have seen. Oh, and Gene Armstrong, who just testified there was a second man there, but I guess we forgot about that. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. The radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of the contradictions. The whole incident took place twice! Once for real and once for show. And Mr. Fiore Tigre is the only person who could have committed the crime. Is you. Witness? What do you got to say? That's cute. Sorry. You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. But what do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You got it all wrapped up nice, huh, right? But you've missed one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid, too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you see? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? Ha. What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of bullshit. I make fun of him, but that seltzer went down the wrong fucking pipe. Ow! Ha! Hate that. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Trebian between yourself and the victim? Oof. Yeah, seltzer water in the wrong pipe is not great. Yeah, I loaned El Cash about $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. Get it his payback date, see? Take a shot every time Godot drinks coffee? Oh, you'd be dead. At least it only starts on the second case, but you would be dead. So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. You got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she did, everything would have been over with. Now I see the principal account you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, he's got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And their payment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. Got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't had no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive, huh? He has to have one. But what is it? It's a sure way to die. Oh, yeah. Although I do like the idea of somebody recutting this game so that Godot is just drinking whiskey out of his mug and he just gets more and more drunk and insane as he goes. Which is why he's like defending the mirror or whatever the insane bullshit point he just made was. Won about $100,000. Money! Did he have a way of paying back the loan? The fool was a gambler. Said he couldn't give it up till he landed a big win. I agreed to help him. Help him? You? I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. But the guy kept losing. So you were helping him for his sake or yours? Win through compromise. You help me, I help yous. What's the difference, eh? I don't believe this. Nick, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only owe you $5, max. Thanks a lot, Maya. Well, that's like $5 more than I'd ever loaned Maya, so. So how much were you expecting him to pay you back that day? What do you think? The whole package, $100,000, including interest. The motive isn't required to prove guilt. Well, it does help, certainly. But, at this point, our supposition is that you killed him, and he's saying, all right, why would I do that? And while it doesn't matter why, in Phoenix Wright, it apparently does, so. Yes, Maya. Akiyama gives money to unreliable people. Yeah, but then they don't pay him back. That's a real heavy, that's a real heavyweight punch. Once a client misses a repayment, you call the whole loan in. You want to make it in my world, that's all you's gotta know. And how many times has Mr. Elg been late with his repayments? Once. And how much was he supposed to pay back every month? $50. The guy couldn't make $50 a month? First of all, that's a lot of months to repay back $50,000. Like, that's 10,000 months. No, that would be 5. That's 1,000 months. Excuse me. That's 1,000 months, which is... I'm bad at math. Let me get a calculator real quick. He'd never pay it off at the interest rate. Yeah, but if he only owes $50 a month, like, who cares? 50 times 12. That's $600 a year. And in order to get to 50,000 divided by 600, it would take him 83 years at that rate to pay it back. Which, you know, if you could give me $50,000 and I only had to give you $50 a month for 83 years, yeah, okay. I'd take that deal. Oh no, I'm in debt, but also I'm only paying $50 a month? What? Sounds like Mr. Elg was in a really sticky spot. Yeah, at $50 a month, he'd never pay that huge loan off. But who cares? It's $50 a month. It would be... Am I not getting something about a loan? Like, you borrowed $50,000. You need to pay it back at $50 a month. Okay. Unless there's a hard cutoff date, I'm missing the problem here. I'd like to borrow $1 million. I'll pay you back at $1 a day. Like, sure. I can make $1 a day, and then I just get to keep the million. I'm missing the problem here. Anyway, tells me he's not gonna pay up. Like, yeah, I'd never pay that off, but it's also $50 a month. Who cares? Is the law game not a finance game? True. How much do you have left of his debt? You want it in round figures? About $100,000. That's the whole amount! We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. Alright, well, I understand why he couldn't make $50 a month. The dude was clearly addicted to gambling. Victim's working a high-end programming company. How much of a gambler is it that he couldn't make $50 a month? 83 years is a lot of time to pay off a loan. Yeah, at $50 a month, it would be paid off in 83 years. Which is wild. Honestly, for a loan, I could probably... It would be not great. I could probably handle $600 a month for a couple months. I prefer not to, but I could handle it. $50 a month is ridiculously low payment rate. But yeah, he gambled so much he only had 58 cents in his wallet, so... Clearly, Glenn was bad with money. What? You telling me he wasn't even gonna pay for the coffee? Certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. Elk. That guy was smooth, I tell you, real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes. That's what he says to me. The guy then calls me the tender tiger. He was skating on thin ice with me. I'm about to flatten the guy, and he starts screaming. Was that because the guy won the lottery? Was his last chance at a big win? And you can confirm that this is the ticket in question. That's it. The millionaire radio show that starts at 1:30 and runs for 10 minutes. So that would be 1:40 then, okay. That fixes the time the two of you met with some accuracy. And the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. Also, Mr. Kudu would see it. I can still see the kid's face now. I ain't never gonna forget it. Yes, I won $500,000. You got lucky. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time? I don't remember. If there was no one else, I'd wear this ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and if I'm right, the old Cadaverini were all there at the time. Well, obviously the waitress and the cook were there. He said I don't remember in regards to other customers, I'm sure. So the victim had intended to repay you from the lottery winnings from the beginning. Seems that way to me. But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you? Ha. The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you've ever had. That's what defines a true gambler. He makes it sound so fucking douchey. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it. All I know is the kid took a shot and he got lucky in the end. The waitress hadn't done what she did, everything would have been over. $50 a month is practically pocket change. Dude was really bad at managing money. Yeah. The waitress, you mean? The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she ain't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little harder on this. Ask about what Maggie did. What exactly are you implying the defendant did? How about you go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad, she poisoned Elg's coffee. A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. T. Gray. Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, trite. The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I send down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split. I am admitting this in open court. I see! Your Honor. If I had to pick anyone for a 5v5 basketball team, who'd I pick? I think I answered this already. Goku and 4 cheerleaders. The witness's last statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee. I concur, Mr. Godot. You will amend your testimony accordingly, witness. Ha! So that's what you's after, Phoenix, right? Thanks to what she did, my business with that kid was over. Tiger's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only going to damage our case. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are yous all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back. That's all. I'm a businessman with a business plan. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Seeger had no motive for killing the victim. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like me to amend it? You can't have Goku. Ah, Vegeta. Go on and 4 cheerleaders. Yeah, Vegeta and 4 cheerleaders. I mean, might as well amend it, right? You can't have 4 cheerleaders. Ugh. Fine, 5 cheerleaders. I'm not going to get anywhere with testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like a testimony amended. Actual characters. I mean, 5v5 basketball, fictional characters? I don't know. Fucking Pablo Sanchez from Backyard Basketball. Easy number 1. Your mom, easy number 2. The judge, easy number 3. Very well. The witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please. Like, I don't know much about basketball. I don't know why I would be building a 5v5 team. Tall people that run fast, I guess? The Flash. I was after 100,000. I didn't have any other reason to kill the guy. Oh, this is the problem, right? Because it's his medical surgery, right? Payment was due last year, cranial surgery, $1 million bill. I assume. 4 and 5. Fucking Superman. I assume this is what I do. We could have her in yet. Which I've done, she did. How would things have been? Oh, I need to present MC Bomber on this. Huh. Frankly, I'm just... This case has gone on long enough. I wish it was done at this point. As fun as Tigray is. I need to present this. I would have thought it was the medical paper. But that's next, according to this. I'll give you my team. Sure, hit me with it. So you intend to get back the $100,000 Mr. L owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after. Objection. What are you getting at, trite? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money. But money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? Just stealing myself. What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc inside of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that's from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is an important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact Glenn Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put in order to borrow the money. Objection. You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program. Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot trite. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided he had time. But what if he needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. I mean, clearly the man had money. At some point, he loaned a guy $100,000, and also Armstrong, he loaned $500,000. He's got a desk of solid gold. Clearly El Tigre has money from somewhere. Probably crime, but, you know, clearly he had money. Waka Karomi, the tall man from Phantasm, Matt Mercer, and T-Truth. Matt Mercer? Why Matt Mercer? It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Why did Mr. Tigre need money to the tune of $1 million? R-Truth. Oh, well. Still, why Matt Mercer? In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? Ah! An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. You can roll for ballin'. Fair enough. How much of this do yous know? The medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. Ha! No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay. I guess his very life depended on it! Wakano's blitzball, so it's a smart pick. Yeah, it's true. He's a sportsman. Order, order! It's weird that you put a racist on your team, and first of all things, but, you know, he is good at sports. You say his life is dependent on it, Mr. Wright.
Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini.
Did you say Cadaverini?
Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini.
I was about to say that. Yeah, well.
Your life is in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elg's life to pay your debt.
I didn't know if mods would block the R word. Oh, racist? I mean, maybe they would. But yeah, Waka, turbo racist.
One day, the murderer of Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Mr. Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it.
Then I could go down to spit takes. That is comical. More fun than Francesca going, eh, or Edgeworth going, meh.
But then a miracle happened.
Racist. Oh, well, there you go. So the bandages weren't just a fashion statement. Oh, no, they were not. Had a head injury.
The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I.
The lottery win.
Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 in the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least no legitimate way.
Why didn't he just punch him in the face and steal it? Like, have you seen El Tigre? The man's jacked.
He resorted to illegitimate means.
That's crazy.
He murdered Glenn Elg and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify from yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Bullshit, I'm gonna do spaces when I swear now. Well, the problem... You still said shit, though, so the swear is still there. Like I said, trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it.
But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money, too. $500,000, in fact.
Don't need to write spaces. We ain't gonna block most swear words. It's true. Frio is truly a master of disguise. He's Dana Carvey? The lights go out, we come back. El Tigre's missing. The judge is suddenly wearing like a mop and a bald cap on. I think we've heard enough. Maggie Bird is guilty. Well, that's that then. Ah ha ha! You just put on a good show, Spiky. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like the kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something so sloppy like that.
I agree.
You do?
Despite your appearance, you're very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out.
What? Another one? Mr. Wright. He got fixed. Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Mr. Trite? What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? You put the potassium cyanide in her pocket? Okay. I should have saved. That was a big chunk if I fucked that up. We're getting to case 4 today? Probably, just to start it, though. Go dot. And what's the relevance of that, Trite?
It's just a little intro.
An intro to what? Seems all this has been an elaborate trick on the part of the defense. Oh! I mean, he put the bottle in. Case Suarez, no investigation. Yeah, I also have to have dinner with my in-laws. And I leave in about 50 minutes. So, yeah, we're wrapping the stream up in about 30. Present your badge, emergency. No, wait, Mr. T-Ray did play a trick. A huge trick. I'll just save the game this time. I can't save the game. I'm just gonna look at this guide right over here. Oh. Duh. Wrong badge. Present his badge! I did present his badge. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigray, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago, in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing here in this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I have ever seen. I like the judge being like, what? That's preposterous. Although, yeah, that was you. That's exactly what happened. That was 100% you. Can you prove that, Gramps? He was there! What do you mean? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here months ago is him? Yes, Mr. Godot, I was there and I saw it. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Hey. Oh, wow. Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, trite, here in court we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right, Your Honor. Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by memory without evidence to support it. But it's your memory! No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. Even though you know it was him, Your Honor. Circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigray are dubious to be sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenn Elk. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Yeah. Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get mauled. You's got it. All we managed to do was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I had just one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. Are most trials recorded? Check the tapes. The witness's cross-examination is over. You're free to go, Mr. Tigray. Your Honor, sir. I love dramatically showing up at the last moment. Wait! Detective? Detective Gumshoe. Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? Oh, wow. Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? How about the prints, pal, from the medicine bottle? Oh, so do you know who the prints belong to? You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Furo Tigre's paw prints, all right. That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything out on the line for us, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need is to produce in this stage of the trial is irrefutable evidence the tiger put poison in Glen Elk's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Gumshoe sure likes appearing dramatically at the last moment. Listen, it's all he has. Don't take it from him. Don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. And I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Oh, Maggie. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe! Wait. He's gone. Is there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Covered in Furo Tigre's fingerprints. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you discovered. Well, to be fair, Gumshoe discovered it, Your Honor. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are yous gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. Yous lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a little bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present the final decisive piece of evidence to the court. Well, it would be the bottle. It'd have to be. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's? Your Honor. Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what's this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you was saying? What the hell's in it anyway? A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains Mr. Armstrong's oil, iramecin, or potassium cyanide. Yeah, I think we need to try and trick him and be like, it's the poison bottle that your fingerprints are all over, right? This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. And the victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? Ha 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 ha! You'd make a good clown, you know that. What? Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. You're just making me laugh right now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with cyanide in it. No. This is the bottle where we found traces of poison in it. Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. Well, really dug his own grave with that one, huh, Mr. How do you know what the bottle looks like? Yup. The whole court. Got him. At last. What? Why's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the one you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle with the cyanide in it. You ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. Alloy's just playing games. Tell it, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to the court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now, you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Yous don't know who yous messing with. Godot had objected this plan never would have worked. Yeah, which, you know, I'm surprised he didn't, since his MO seems to be, right, you're a terrible lawyer and I'm going to prove it by making clearly innocent people go to jail for crimes they didn't commit. And Phoenix is like, dickhead. And that's their relationship summed up. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you. The biggest phony of all. Oh God, Jesus. Well, that was impressive. What the fuck? Slim Cognito? What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Well done, Trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Stop throwing coffee at me when I'm correct! Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Tiger's one of your favorite breakdowns? Yeah, that was pretty good. Look at what I did. Damn it. There's a reason he's a dickhead? Oh, I'm sure there's a reason he's a dickhead. I'm just not sure it's a good one. But that'll have to remain to be seen, won't it? Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe. Ah, but if he hollers, he won't be let go. Your Honor, shut the fuck up. Now then, how are things going with Mr. T. Gray, Mr. Godot? He is being arrested on suspicion of murder of Glen Elk, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. His eyes. Yeah, the glowing red was a cool effect. I'll give him that. Yes, indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. The O.T. Gray is truly a frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty. Yay! Now go home and change. You've been wearing that for a month. It's starting to smell. That is all. This court is adjourned. We did it! As usual.
Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. And now I feel like I can forgive him.
It wasn't me! That wasn't me! That was the tiger!
Look, Nick, in the doorway.
It's Gumshoe. This case is weird. This case is infuriating. But again, Viola's kind of an interesting character. LT Gray is fun, even if he's, ridiculous. Armstrong's fun as well and memorable, but fuck, Kudo's a pain in the ass. Armstrong's testimony sucked. It had some good bits, but there's some... The highs were okay, the lows were really low. I would argue lower than the circus, but again, the circus had no highs. It was all low, so on average, it's worse. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! We learned some French. No, we didn't. I purged it from my mind.
Detective Gumshoe.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie.
Thanks.
I knew you were innocent all along. Just fuck already.
Why didn't you say that in your testimony then?
Well, it's conjecture, isn't it? Nathan, you're unbanned. Oh, and now that you're unbanned, if you could battle royale for us, please. Does Apollo Justice have any bad cases? I never even finished Apollo Justice. I played like the first 3 or 4 cases and gave up on it. So, yeah, probably. I don't remember any of them, but statistically it has at least one bad case, right? Thank you, Ark, for the battle royale. Self-portrayed battle royale. Thanks his scary innocence that so far the only case he lost was from the second game, and he lost it because he wanted to, not because it was unwinnable. Oh, true. Where Matt on guard had to be found guilty? Yeah. Oh, well, Well, guess I'll be headed off then. See you around. Third case in Apollo ain't great. It's always the middle, isn't it? Wait, Detective Gumshoe! He just ran off.
Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use! But it was. It's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put a good word in for him, Nick?
Yeah, Maya is right. I should help Gumshoe out.
It's clear he needs it. Maggie, Detective Gumshoe's really been worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up.
He didn't have a choice, Maggie. That's his job.
He doubted me. That's why. Thought I might have done it.
I won the battle royale. Me? Oh. I feel so much like a winner. I know the first case is the best opening case in history of Apollo. If you say so. Thinking about all of them, yeah, sure, maybe. I can't remember a lot of what happened in it because I played Apollo years ago and never finished it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. Normally I fuck up and give him a badge, but I'll give her the lunch box, which is what I assume they're referring to. Norma Maya was kidnapped. Yeah. Phoenix only lost because he wanted to lose. In the end of the case, Phoenix could have straight up had his client walk away scot-free. Yeah, but it would have had to throw Adrian Andrews under the bus, right? In order for that to work. He introduces Hobo Phoenix. Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love.
He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies,
Same. Hell yeah, Maggie. Oh, you mean the food. That was her, not me.
Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself,
Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Yeah, it did. I thought we'd be done in like an hour. Maybe hour and a half at most. Ask Gumshoe for more of his weenies.
Is it okay if I eat this now?
Maya's so happy for her. So, how is it, Maggie? It's like a day old, so it's kind of whatever. I think I've had that for like a whole day at this point. So, the case of the phony Phoenix came to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Yeah, she's arrested for murder in Edgeworth 1, so. Ain't starting anytime soon. God, episode 3. That took way too long. That took me like 3 or 4 streams to do. Rare achievement! Oh, look at that. Edgeworth in his... That's in his... That young, fresh-looking suit. But Edgeworth's back, baby! A brand new episode's been added. Turnabout Beginnings. And then is never seen again after that. Well, we can assume good things happen to her then. Our boyfriend is back. Hype. I know, right? But more on that tomorrow. They're gonna let a girl go. Oh, shit. No, none of this. Stop it. Stop it, you. No. No! None of that. Close this right now. Absolutely not. Trying to fucking out me like that and make me play the intro. How dare you? That's for tomorrow. That all being said, thank you everyone who watched. Who knew? She was innocent the whole time. That case was infuriating. Great background. Thank you. Taco Tom 2, baby. Point is he lost that one by... Yeah, he did lose that by his own 10. That's his only L at this point. April Fools. It will be April Fools tomorrow. Come see what wacky shenanigans I have planned. Anyway, until then, have a great rest of your day. Have a happy Easter. And have an even better April Fool's Day until I'm back on stream. Toodle pip. Okay. 79 said no. I guess go fuck yourselves then. Love you all. Be good people. Toodle pip.